good to take a break. I really needed a break. I was really hungry. Are we good to go? Okay, so it just happens to be that I'm reading next. I actually had only brought one poem to read today because I wanted everybody else to have room to read all of theirs. And it looks like we have a little bit of time, so I'm going to read a few things that I brought with me, but they're just things that I had in my bag and I really didn't plan. So I'm going to start off with the one that I actually planned on reading, and it's 100,000 Poets for Change, a poem that I actually wrote for last year, and I think there's a word I'm looking for, but it's not coming to me, but it's something that's perpetual that you can continue reading, I think, for years to come. So it applies this year just as much as it did last year. I don't actually have a title for it either, so here we go. It's kind of dark up here. I liked it. That's better. Change comes with no expiry date. It randomly chooses chaos and order and redefines, bigger than you and I, with its tsunami-sized waves and dust-mite revenge. It arrives unexpectedly, pounding on doors, windows, pavement and skies, where birds break the silence and tornadoes sift through small towns, while tropical snowstorms globally warm our houses. Change shakes the recycling bins of life, while homeless hands scavenge, prisons overflow, broken children break, guns go off after bullets fly and bombs drop, while widows weep and sirens sound, and 3-day empty skies stifle the arteries among the crumbled buildings. You and I stand with our shields in the aftermath of that volcano with no name. Change stands in the face of adversity and sings songs of revolution, fired up with paper, strings, and ink, embracing tomorrow's victory today. So I just have a couple of really short little things, and then I have one fairly good, lengthy poem, I suppose. For all the paths you walk, the stones you collect, the sunsets you endure, and the stars that whisper, these two will gather like moss on the north side of your heart. Where the sun, water, and sky provide clarity, writing tools and a cup of tea, perched on the ledge of the talking rocks of this ghostly shore is where you will find me. Wellness has found me, writing poetry in the oddest places, while lying face up under a magnolia tree on a hot summer day, sitting dockside with a cup of tea on a Saturday morning, sifting stones and sand through my fingers on a Thursday of large proportions, smiling under blue skies on a fast train to nowhere, and listening to cardinals collaborate on tall trees. Thank you. I didn't have any titles for any of those, but I do have one here. It's an older poem, and it's called Lies. Lies, unreliable, underneath a pile of paper, soaked in shame. You who led, loved, and left your sweater caught on the gate of goodbye, while I tried to brush my heart from my sleeve, but it wouldn't let go. Lies, worthless, wisdomless, a pile of laundry at the end of a bed you didn't own. You who talked, took, and troubled as your key broke in the door, while your boots stood, stirred, and stymied outside on a porch, filled up with the rain and last year's news. Lies, truthless torment, a pile of unmarked boxes in an unmarked car the government owned. You who borrowed, broke, and bent all the cards in your favor, while your children looked for the goldfish in an empty bowl. Thank you. and I will give you a mystic belly dancing in the dark, waiting for the sunrise that comes to call with morning petunias and bird song. And I'll just have one little other piece here, which is separate. A full moon is almost flying, high in the sky, chased by stars that are not yet named. Shadows dance on brick buildings, and chenille blankets sing that old lullaby on the tongues of tree branches, floating out into the big old bay with that compass leading home. Thank you.
This one's called Lesson. Outside my dream, my dog barks. I just had to go there, but I did not want to let go of the dream, whatever it was now. I do not even remember, just that it had me in it, like a student in a lesson with meaning to follow. Outside my life, sort of, God whispered, and since I heard it, I figured God was speaking, at least partly, to me. So I listened, sort of, to what God said. Listen to your dog when she barks. No need to get annoyed because of what you're doing. Oh yes, I sort of get the connection. Thanks, guys. This one's called Serve. Look at you, still serving the masters of war and their slithering puppeteers. Your soul's been given away. How does it feel? Kind of empty? Want to fill the hole with whatever you can steal? Don't you know you're as capable as my dog of being a flying animal? She, my dog, knows me, feels me, protects me, is by my side, comforts me. What exactly are you being, and what should be your reward? Thank you. This is a recent one. I wrote about someone very close to me, and she's not here, so let's go ahead with it. Control issue. How do you know when you're out of control? Do you feel all-knowing, powerful, arrogant? Are they plotting against you? Is the glass real close to empty? Then snap out of it. Put your hand on your chest. Feel your love generator. Cut thump, cut thump. Pumping the juice. It's the gentle boss, not your big fat head. Your poor me, look what happened by accident. Pulp Fiction dictator. Harsh words? Yeah. Necessary? Feels that way. Cry all you need to. Open the flow. Life can be unfair, but it's your life, and it's always in your control, as widely and deeply as you can imagine. Your capabilities are far greater than anyone's ever led you to believe. What's the time things like? I'm good? Okay. Fail safe. There's so many buttons being pushed. I must have been confused. I couldn't find the right release valve. All that pressure on you, on me. a blank face, and 2 gentle words. The future tortured me. Hard line don't work either. It makes ego puff up and want to show them. Oh, what a trick to learn. Like lassoing fleas with a bullwhip. Needs perfect touch. Being there despite all the landmines and missiles around your head. Driving school for combatants and frightened recruits, learning to smile and mean it, deep with feeling. Take a little off, see it steam away. Let the love generator work its magic. That's the fail-safe. All right, the one something you have in front of you I wrote a couple of days ago is called Opportunity. Me here, you there. I want you closer. You there. Me here. It's better that way. Hey. A barrier or an opportunity. Would you mind if I were to forget about you? Would you mind? I don't know if it's technically possible to do so. Perhaps what I seek is more of spiritual letting go. I'm sure you think, yes, that's your forte. You think that you have served me well, that we are teammates. Or perhaps not. Has it really been a power struggle all along? That I am just too closely identified with you? I do catch myself thinking that part of myself, or which you are the franchise holder, I just did it. I thought we were teammates. Then corrected the idea. Is that what you do? You just feed me things to believe in, or not? Is it a constant test? And how am I doing? Not well enough, I must say. So would you mind if I were just to practice over and over until I'm fully ready to just let you go? Cut the cord. Watch you drift off into space. Would you scream inside in terror? Do you really need me that much? I don't think I can be sympathetic. I feel you have not served me well. Not the whole of you. Perhaps there's a part of you that is my friend who wants the best for me. So then, a stay of execution. Yeah, I'll explore further, learn more about the real you. All right, I wrote this one a couple of days ago. It's called Script Change. They tried to rape her, take from her everything, leave her broken, collapsed, in hopeless despair. Fools. They know not whom they were dealing with. The range of her power, from gentle cooling breeze to devastating storm, destroying all they had built from her bounty. She of perfect system, arid desert to rainforest and everything in between. She hung with Thor and his timely bolts, exclaiming their special relationship. They tried to put the universe into perspective, decide how to conquer it Klingon style. Nice big thought. Keep working on that. Build something on the border that you can contain it in. Some big box malls like Walmart and Target should do. No need to bother with the sliding doors though. They tried to put God in a box, bury him under lies and confusion. She laughed. I'm already getting it on deep with Mama E. What did you think the Thor metaphor is all about? He thinks the big guy looks at life as a sitcom and needs better writers. Am I done? I'm done. One more? 1 minute. My God. No, I can't do that. I'm going to stop. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Shawna Dimitry. See you meet you all. I'm going to start with a piece that I wrote while trying to figure out how to write down the story of my grandmother, who's a Holocaust survivor. I do a lot of spoken word stuff, so I have things on paper in my head right now, and yeah, that's that. Anyways. This is the story of my grandmother. This is my thoughts while recording the story of my grandmother, a Holocaust survivor. She traces Hebrew script aside images of a synagogue in her childhood town. It's a synagogue spared of fire as its citizen's chart. I stare at a metal memento recording her. Arthritic hands pull out stills of family, noted on stone memory walls currently, blocked in lists of victims. She says, "You can't imagine." She pulls out an artful picture of a forest, says, "That's where they took the men. They lined up to shoot when we were too crowded." 50 people sealed into a ghetto apartment where a yellow ticket was a gold, entitling a man to earn bread on a workday. What were the colors of the apartment walls? I'm begging for breadcrumbs, visuals, anecdotes. I get my grandmother's loose response. "You can't imagine." Me, I don't have the right to condense her stories in plastic binding, or tell of the years spent in sewers, or how the day before liberation, before freedom, my great-uncle, her brother, climbed past the sewer's grate and gave his life to an SS gun. I'm trying to imagine it, so her story doesn't decompose with her body. I'm trying to preserve her horror, so this atrocity that massacred branches of my family doesn't become a barely believable chapter of grade 10 history books, omitted when it suits educational whims. My grandmother is part of the dying breed, Holocaust survivor. I press the red button on an audio recorder hoping Holocaust stories amount to more than a few Oscar-worthy movies. She says, "The place where I live is Jewish blood. The earth is soaked in Jewish blood." She says, "You can't imagine." I record to remember wars and horror are not history. They are not past or present TV news or movie-reeled dreams. They are nightmares. They are real. And I don't know how, but it's time we stop going back to sleep as our next scheduled explosion produces another page of historical terror. So that's that one. I write a lot of mental health poems because I'm very involved in that world. I've dealt a lot with it myself, and almost everyone who's close to me has something diagnosable. So I'm going to do the poem that I haven't done in a while, but I've definitely done a lot. I call it my Except Gets Better About Mental Health poem, or Please Thrive. It's all me. Hey, lovely. It's okay they don't want to be in your area. It's a horror story roller coaster PTSD experience, so live it out. Middle plateau. I know. Handcuffs and stomach pumps are not the luxuries we wish to lavish upon ourselves, so just hold close, coping paints and pens and splash out some red to let yourself forgive you for causing a few new traumas this time. You didn't choose your mind, but you can reframe it, rework it. I know you don't think you can be put back together again, but we don't need kings, horses, or men and that. Oh, look at your thoughts. The onus isn't on you, but regardless, own what you can, because using the right bolts and ointments, you can heal up. You make you heal. Sickness society decides is yours, worth it. So you end up amongst winners in history books. You can be the subject of essays for normal people of tomorrow, or you can be normal or somewhere in between. Calorie counts and corpse relationships will slow. You'll go forward march, only breaking personal I'm better records. You're getting closer now, healthier. Just expel excess weight on ellipticals and treadmills. The release will leave you lighter. You'll scale high enough to remember you have it in you to love and be loved. You can rally for the sitcom set of kids, careers, creativity, friends, family. There are world leaders just like you. Look it up. Look up. Because it has to get better for at least a little while. You can have moments of happy, shiny, shiny, pretty, pretty. And I know you've probably heard all this before. And I'm probably a broken record, but at least I'm playing. Not to win. Just because to some people, I am beautiful. You are too. Don't let those scars limit you. Your world and mine should not be hidden. Our globe should be headlined. I want you in glory on the front page, byline, not in the obituary. You are not living dead. You are not scary. Stop hiding. Let yourself be looked at too. You can be the next Dolly, Newton, Dickinson, Aldrin. I mean it. Stop hiding. Look up. And let yourself be looked up to. Believe me, I've been you. Okay, I'm gonna do one more if that's cool. Yeah? Okay, so this is sort of the opposite. I get really, really annoyed because there's a lot of poems about depression that just kind of like put it in a little pretty bow and just kind of tie it up as like something that can just be solved. And this is my trying to describe, I don't know, the kind of worst that can get because I see it a lot. It feels like frostbite. Fingers, toes, intestines are stale blueberry popsicles. Your bed is a marshmallow. You're melting into it, making you hungry, so you ingest pseudo-sustenance. Voicemails, electronic insincerity. Texts received are addressed to an earlier you. That's the you who expired with the vegetables in your fridge. Every day deserves the title Sick Day. As every syllable vomiting past your lips. Bye-bye, buddies, because misery might love company, but company does not love misery. And these kinds of depressive downs can't be cured through a positive attitude. So snap out of it, they burn your flesh. Instead of healing, you're feeling like your skin's unwoven and streaming off your body like a newly realized burn victim, and you wish flesh really was reeling off your fingertips, because then you'd have an excuse for being unable to snap out of it. It gets better are oozing in the mocking undertones of characters on the wrong side of dramatic irony. This is not a pretty poem. When you're ready to get off that marshmallow bed, it's therapy or a tombstone. There's no easy fix, and the checklists are fucking insulting, though this kind of crazy can be close to cracked if loved ones invest in a sincere smile, hug, laugh. Sympathy may enable slugs on marshmallow beds to begin investing in healing, but there is no wrapping paper here. This present isn't pretty. It's a struggle not to succumb to the permanent numb of a body in decline due to emotional frostbite, but happiness is possible. And the possibility of happiness is enough for Jenny.
Oh, where is my woman, my lover, my mother, my child? Who's off taking care of you now that I'm sitting here hopelessly blind? Oh, where is my woman, my lover, my mother, my child? Who's off taking care of you now that I'm sitting here hopelessly blind? Some self-realities take on artificial plans, and then some artificial plans take on self-realities. And the objective dissolves like a flower in darkness, like a leaf inside a storm when the final one has fallen, and there is no ground, no more. It had long since given way to superior self-indulgence. While the rest was left, now given up for lost, nothing remains, the vision is gone. And so as it is within the presence of time, the eyes now declare that because they can't see, nothing can exist. And then realizing the trust, the doors that were closed, the ones who were shut out for one to be alone, vital force still remains, as there under a tree, or behind a closed door, or under tear. It waits so none suspect, like the coming of spring, for its day, the self of discovery. Mist remains and blocks the path for those who cannot see. And a choice is made to remain with the mist of each other, to grow, to find out what you know, to know what's again just who you are. And you really need that far. And a tinge of doubt remains. This last strand of this long letting go. And why not let it be today? I'm thinking I'm going to sing a newer song, but maybe not. For you who have chosen the burden, consider the journey now of rough trees and steep grades without even knowing how. It's you who must accept what you're vindictive about and see just what you reject to find it's only yourself. Twas that crack of thunder, to wake up to that rip-roaring noise. And some would suggest quite placidly that they're blowing up the world. And suddenly I'm lost. It's far beyond too late. You've had your millennium chances. 'Twas time and space as rich as gold that stood before your soul, and you looked at it, but only looked at it while it sadly gave you a smile. Said, I like your style, but in a little while I'll be gone from here knows to who, and you'll get what you need, only yourself that you heed to bring your heart off the shelf. When time is no longer, and the movement you're after is just to get clear of this mess. And yes, then you'll wonder, you'll sit there and ponder just why did you never come out? And you'll feel it's the end. You'll know it's the end when regret will be all you're about. And suddenly you're aware. You're caught in mid-stare to find out it's just a dream. And the breath that you take, the sigh you slake, shall be first in your entrance to realize that you've entered alone the valley of love. And when you climb on over, be sure that it's over, for you'll never need to be that again. No, you'll never need to be that again. And when a choice is made, in that instant, the tides of fate are flowing. And all movement is set into motion, making straight the way, the path. And all hazard remains at the side of the road, forsaken, irrelevant, redundant from now on. And now, leaving old horizons, rest assured all is calm. Approach newfound dimensions. Godspeed, my love. For the stars, they are many. Thank you very much.
First, I'd like to thank our wonderful host, Janice, who has done so much and tirelessly does everything she can for poetry. She has been a change. And then, thanks to each and every one of you who are here for poetry, to celebrate 100,000 poets for change. I'm Banoo Zan. For those of you who don't know me, I also run an event if you would like to know. I'm more than happy to provide you with information. For the first poem, I don't know what can I say about this poem. Anyways, this poem is selfish. It cares about me more than it cares about you. And here we are. But at least it cares about me, gives me voice, wants to know me. I don't trust it though. Poems are the worst whistleblowers, the worst lovers. Who knows what it will say behind my back? I don't trust me either. What if I'm a poem in my fist? What if I don't know what I want this poem to do? What if this poem is not selfish after all, but just doesn't know how to end? Ending a poem is not ending a poem's life, though I am killing it, making it about me, while all it wants is to be about you. Poets are suicide bombers. Poets are poems. I accuse this poem of treason, yet capital punishment is no longer in the headlines. This poem is selfish though. It begins and ends where it wants, tells its own story, not ours, cares about poetry more than it cares about any of us. It holds us hostage to its dreamless dreams, knowing that nightmares are immortal. The next poem is Assimilation. Losses are my gains. See how well off I am. Of you. Of me. From blue to brown. I have been on your shores, not in your waters. Afraid to dive into you, to drown in you. Not knowing of tsunamis. Poems are writing themselves without us. Beware. I want you to be away. Beware of the deep where blue turns to black and you turn to me. Beware of us fusing into one as Hephaestion forged yields inflexible armors. Beware of eyes granting us freedom against our will. Beware of me turning into you as the sky into the sea and the sea into deserts. Beware of reading my lips to write your tongue. Oh, beware of separations as the trees will grow so large as to reach the skies. Beware, my love. I see no way out of me for you. This poem is called Judgment. Love is no ceasefire. It bombs the cannibal flesh. An enemy in disguise, bearing blood-stained teeth at the news that it never existed in the surrendered citadel of euphoria. Stop it now, before it's too soon to begin. I'm unkissing the last battle, ready to plunge my sickle into its heart, rip and chew it raw. I'm dancing in its fire, profaning the sacred madness that yields to the advances of philosophy. Love has committed treason, and I am to execute justice. I will keep it shivering at every shelling. I will fight it to the end, even if it means we both live forever. One more love poem, but this is a different love poem. This is the kind of love poem that has gone out of fashion. But I come from Iran, and in Iran, there is this rich tradition of Sufi poetry where the beloved is God. This poem is about Hallaj, the 9th century Sufi teacher and martyr, who was brutally tortured, flayed, dismembered, and martyred for one sentence, and that was this: I am the truth, and al-haq. The truth, or haq, being one of the 99 attributes of Allah. So this is Hallaj. Love. The more I talk of you, the more lovers you have. I wish I could not speak. A jealous lover. I want you for me, yet I am the truth. I am the love, the crying proof of the soaring embrace. Restless, not shameless. I care not to conceal your knowledge. In selfless moments, I'm your dervish, oh love. Enough of trashy love. You know I'm not a love poet. So let's go to the real political stuff. Assassin. Your eyes shed my tears. My mouth shouted your screams, and politics was born. I was your brother. You were my sister. Borders had no colors. Guns were martyred, and philosophy was an activist. Poetry beautied men and stronged women. We defined the unknown, rescued God from heaven, and failed to seduce fear. We spilled peace. Permit me to defeat dialogue doomed to discord, wear the uniform snow, and kiss the last raccoon. One more. Okay. One more. What do I do for one more? Okay, so you know, poetry has been around as long as language has been around. Sources of inspiration for poetry have been numerous. New sources have been added, like Facebook. So this poem actually was inspired by a post I saw on Facebook it was a quote from the combat pilot involved in Iran-Iraq war, 1980 to 1988. Major pilot Sharifi wrote, on his way back from one of his missions from Kirkuk, Iraq, he deliberately changed his path, exposed himself to the danger of detection by the enemy's radar, just to avoid scaring some Iraqi civilians who were riding on a bus. So here we go. Combat pilot. The courage to bathe in war, robed in peace. To open your eyes, to open mouth, in clear accuracy of combat. To bless after the bomb. To break the sound barrier of silence. To respect fear and grant it amnesty. The courage to face kindness, so feminine, only the bravest men can attain. Do I know you, my hero? Do I ever see you as you capture the tribe on its way to destiny? The sun is yours, the truth unclouded by earth. I'm no stranger to your hand, handing up your heart to the land that runs in our veins. The tsunami of red stains your white flag in the green sky. We tear you to pieces as devout pilgrims to salvage relics of our myth. you surrender to this brave embrace. Oh hero, my hero, stay in the arms of borderless eyes, resting on the shoulders of dreams. Thank you.
Good evening. How's everybody doing? I noticed everybody's attention really grabbed in the last couple of poets. It's really wonderful to hear people doing their best work tonight. I've got 3 poems to share with you tonight. One's a little political, one's a little personal. They're all to do with change. And one, unfortunately, came in one of my original chapbooks, which has been ruined by water, and water fell beneath the plant that I was watering. So this beautiful little poetry book I created is now just like in tatters. So I'm going to try and read one of my favorite poems from there. It's called How We Rise. And when we fall, how do we rise when bruises still pulse under the skin? And when we hurt, how do we rise when love twists knots into our dreams? Come springtime, deep in the forest, seeds burst into purpose, never failing to find light, to seek streams, to nourish what seemed lost. Life from death, spring from winter, attainment and loss in one shattering moment, where youth becomes truth and memory crushes failure. This one is called Desert. It's rather about the Middle East, which I felt rather strongly about one day, and I just had to write a poem called Desert. Desert. Shakes and snakes tearing up the land, defiling the sand, their time well in hand. I heard a story once of a promised land. I know I belonged there. I could feel it rising in me. As storms blow life inside out, I learned to stand on no desert. Inside, so rich and full, and becoming, despite the ancient, unheard command. This poem is called Change, and it's a little more personal. Blistering, piercing, hot flash on the skin, change wrestled out onto the floor. Read not, its whispers haunt me, the other not hearing from the willow tangles. Set the spirits free, I hear not. I'd rather wash the laundry and hang it all out fresh. The stones in my pockets are heavy. They weigh me down, though I know resistance is futile. I embrace the outer world, its changes guiding me. Permaculture, not farming. Solidarity, not individuality. Compassion, not indifference. In the spring of my life, an Aries to be sure, I find the spark of surrender and respect it. I flow, I change, despite hot flashes on the skin. The sun bursts out, a fresh voice from wintertime, to release and let go, like winter's last snow.
So, I don't know if you knew, but that was Kathleen saying reading. And next up is actually Nea. You ready? For a little bit of reading. Hi, my name is Nea. I'm just going to share 2 poems. They're just the most recent ones. Without explanation. Sometimes her ribs hurt at night. She separates self from events like nightmares that interrupt sleep. A fan of the fantastical, the polluted dream begins with a blessing that is bestowed upon her, ignited by a man she barely knows. Where young ideas on love and relationship are tragically hopeful and idealistic. Boom, into reality. Where resentment bites down on bitter seeds, the stolen youth seeds that burn roots and grow into trees, trees that thrash about when stirred by the subtle winds. She's the subtle wind. She was a subtle wind turned hurricane as surface air spiraled in and counterclockwise, repeating a sound and image of the past. She feels the stumble in the dark hours of night, tensions fragmenting shadows of light, the sting of alcohol blocking coherence to breath, as voices rage from emotions caged, bodies begin to shuffle in the dark, glass shatters lightly ripping her skin apart, and panic filters cries and blood drips, and she flips and trips through the foam. The trembling fingers consider her intentions. 119, 999. But violent trees thresh everything within its reach, from moving cars gripped with entangled hair, branches root bodies from chairs to concrete, spilling bitter seeds that bleed words that humiliate. And although every neighbor can hear, only the mosquitoes are ashamed. Sleeping, she is awake in a world of the dead, spilling convulsions of speech. She breathes subtle winds into tornadoes and nightmares into a constellation of screams. She fights history through desert storms and transparent skies, dragging strangled hopes and shivering skin, hoping to wake and break, hoping to wake and break in blazing flames of shattered mirrors, hoping to spit tornadoes into subtle winds and nightmares into a poetic dream. But with each scream that claws at her heart, she rewrites this poem until she figures out what's right with this poem, because ever after don't always lead to golden sunsets. And healing takes time. And in truth, the story is not about she, it's about me. But I still use metaphors to hide scars that haven't healed, like belt buckles won't bruise if you can't see them. I still say she instead of me because I haven't figured out how to stop the cycles and recycling of abuse. And it makes me feel ashamed because I haven't finished this poem. But I'm trying. So I'll finish off with just a love poem. I love your skin. I love the way my hand glides over it like a passage of time. Your skin is a canvas I want to paint myself in. Because if we were still kids, we'd be like best friends. And it'd be cool if I fell in love with you just because. Just because there's something about you that feels like the sky just bent down and kissed me. Like in an alternate universe, rivers are chasing streams, looking for grass to sway and smile at the moon. I feel like I've been crushing on you for 1,000 years. And it sounds crazy, right? Because there's no actual way to prove any truth in the statement, but when you hold my hand, it feels like home. Like warm summer nights misted with ocean and cradled in palm breeze, I feel safe. Sensing tremors of bass contagious to skin as we breathe, I feel music. Because if I could paint myself in your skin, we'd still be kids. You'd be the first boy I'd want to kiss. Although being kids, the fear of making the relationship weird, we probably never would have kissed. You'd still be the first boy that made me feel something. And I'd go home and totally practice make-up moves on my pillow as if cotton sheets could emulate your skin or lips. I'd do it
because it's an immediate option too, because that way I could pretend that it was your face pressed against mine as I fell asleep, confirming in dreams that little things that leave us breathless, make buried and slender for lifetime. And in feelings create light, light is a blessing, and I am incandescent and filled with the sun, like innocence erupting night sky with galaxies of saffron stars, sparking the history felt between strangers, stories we never wrote ourselves in. Because if I could paint myself in your skin, we'd still be kids. See, the cool thing about me and you, if we were still kids, is that we'd be unscarred by relationships of yesterday. Your battle wounds wouldn't make my heart contract. They wouldn't have the ability to confirm that nagging sound in my head that keeps telling me, see, you're still not good enough. So when you say that you're afraid that maybe something better's on its way, if we were still kids, I'd tell you, you're just being stupid. And then I take you swimming, totally swim between your legs and pants you, embracing my role as a forlorn reject and your foolishness as a genius outcast. I'd have the courage to let things unfold, knowing that I've been painted into your skin, and if I let you go, then I get to be part of the role that leads to you feeling loved, and that's pretty cool. Because if we were still kids, we'd be like best friends. And it'd be cool if I fell in love with you, just because. The next poet coming up, coming from Hamilton, part of the Hamilton Youth Poetry Slam team. So please give a warm round of applause. Oh, no. Oh. So Alice is coming up from this Scotland land. Okay.
Welcome to the island of God, that place where none, not even God, can find an ounce of sanity, that place where inhumanity can find its way through human minds and find the things that should not bind in senseless ways. One cannot guess how to mix a minx with a noblesse, but on the island one can see that kiss of inhumanity, where the bats with baby heads, which eat the fingers of the dead, tear them off like cotton candy to those bats, those hands are handy. Mine the monster made of fish, flying through a petri dish of scales of red and green and gold glitter like the finest mold. The monster has a million wheels. Beneath the fish, so nice placed, it rolls around at a steady pace. There sits a pterodactyl puss, a noble pterodactyl puss, and holds its 8 wings all out tight. It really only flies at night. Tonight it sits upon its stair and thinks about the world out there, beyond the sky, beyond the sea, beyond its mad serenity. I need to breathe, my God, beyond its mad serenity. And eats the bugs with owl eyes which taste of beef and cherry pies, and mine the eyeless owls too, which do not know just what to do. Welcome to the island of awe, the home of the living lightning rod, which sucks up lightning like a hog and eats it in the bubblegum bog, where it lives and wastes its days till time is ticked and ticked away. Odd is the sunset, odd is the sea, odd is personality, which takes the brain and steals the mind and drives all men to feel the same till time is ticked. And ticked again. Odd is the goddamn human zoo, odd is me, and odd is you. I have very little stuff here because I didn't know I was going to be doing any reading things until about an hour ago. But, so I apologize for this machine. I'm not fond of machines, but it does the trick. So this is a neo-modernist lament on the limitations of language to articulate its own limitations. If you're into that kind of thing. I play to syntax is not. Fuck the meaning of placed missed words. I'm imagining a create mood through syllables of I do, love's air like sound. Chaos, make meaning is, make language true, make lovers of words penetration through, less tongue lips articulations with gyrations of oral region meanings progeny is that. the thing is, meaning held in sound, possibly. Wonder I once upon a time next Tuesday, of colorless green ideas, sleep furiously. What meaning? Grave understanding. Fuck postmodernist jibber jaw. That's not what I meant at all, that isn't it at all. And yet, I suppose, how do you say, what is the Greek word for misunderstanding? How does the Spanish say pussy? What is the English word for parsley? What is the Parisian word for angst? Help me, God, please help me. We need to settle this argument. No more fooling, let's get serious. I do serious sometimes, possibly. And yet, I suppose, how do you say, what is the word for definer? A healthy relationship is built on communication. Oh, that feels good. Oh, fuck, you feel so good inside me. Oh, come all over me, you dirty. Oh, yes, that's right. Oh. In the beginning there was the word, and the word still is. In the dictionary is still conspicuously missing. Ease, ad nauseum. No, but that's not the point. Am I making myself clear? Am I making myself absolutely clear? And yet, I suppose, how do you say, that I, slave to syntax, is not the meaning of place in this word. I'm managing to create moves through syllables of love. I do. So Glenn Gould's birthday wasn't too long ago, and when Glenn Gould first left playing the piano, the reason he left playing the piano, well, playing it in front of audiences, is because he said being in front of an audience made him feel like a vaudevillain, made him feel like the audience wanted to fail. So I wrote this poem about vaudevillain. So it's about vaudevillain. I want you to look at me. Look at me. Please look at me. I want to be your vaudevillain. I want to be your waltzing bear on top of the stairs. I want to be your drunken clown. I want to juggle for you, take all my crumbs out of this suitcase and toss them in the air like burning daggers ready to tear me to little pieces. And I want you to get everything you need to get from my show. You see, I knew this vaudevillain once. She'd come up on stage with a pair of scissors and she'd kiss them twice, just for luck. Then she'd slice herself in half, from tips down to toes, and she'd pull open her chest and let everything fall out. Blood, gas, trauma, heartache, small Vietnamese family. The sleeping pills she had for dinner. The older man who stripped her down by the poplar trees and the younger man who didn't. And they'd all stand around her on stage. Then she'd take up the needle and slowly, very slowly, she'd start to sew herself back up. And she'd say, I want you to look at me. Why won't you look at me? With my permission, please look at me. I want to be your vaudevillain. I want to be your waltzing bear on top of the stairs. I want to juggle for you. So why won't you look at me? How am I doing for time? I know time. 1 minute, okay. This is a poem called Anarchist Soup, and you know what? I like soup. I feel like soup is a good thing. Slurping the sensuous sinews of syllables swimming in sour broth, I stumble slowly, then step squarely to several exacerbating lines soaked with sibilants. Syntax string sounds with sounds and sorts complex symbols until words combust, creating creatures, crawling, cringing, and creeping, killing certainties, confusing constructions, creating contradicting creatures from ideal and empirical conceits, brewing cream of chaos and cauliflower vowels. Violins evaluate vernacular with voluptuous vocals that evolve into volatile volcanoes spewing vendettas that violently vindicate the vapors from brewed veggies. Viceroy Valkyries of bullion blocks violate bourgeois battles over boiling bowls of boxed and reboxed suburbs, bringing back the babbling soup, the babbling soup, the babbling alphabet soup, broken beneath broad-based bird bodies. The bird girl, the anarchist, brightens with a big grin, gaining ground, glistening canines gorging on forgotten gems of knowledge germane to the gestating jugular, growing gray in mental wounds. The anarchist steps up, luscious lips lacerated with legislative wills. He spits a plea for order, then drinks his politics.
So the first one I'm going to do is a poem really close to my heart, and it's about someone very close to me. How do you see yourself? Her brain betrays her body, perceiving herself as fat, but at the height of 5'6" and the weight of a 10-year-old, 89 pounds. How can I see her as an 18-year-old? She's dying. Her heart fails, her brain doesn't function, but still, she looks in the mirror and sees the figments of her imagination. Fat. A part of her body that withers within herself, a part of her body that is scared of what society has to show her, so they don't. Everyone knows that the body can portray an image, but this image is not clear, so we go to media, and media goes to us, and they don't even know. Thank you. The next one is called Everything. Everything, and I mean everything on this planet. The meanings, the beings, and even the corrupted madness. I can't explain it. Alright, it's like volcanic acid releasing at its fastest and making all of this right here so tragic. Life. Why does it have to be this way? So many people dying in so many different ways, this leads me to say it's not okay. Kids in the worst situations, doing cocaine, and their parents thinking it's great because they have no say while they're doing the same thing. Living in violence, it's getting too silent. People treating guns like it's just a fashion. They think that when they shoot someone, it's just a game. They'll get up and walk away. But look at me. What do you see? A person that wants to be all they can? A person that has a voice but is afraid to speak? A person that has a heart and a soul but is scared. If they get close, they'll have to let go. A person that's working 18-hour days but in the long run doesn't know that they're not getting paid. A person like me. A person like you. A person that'll keep on trying and will hopefully break through. The acts they make on film trying to make suicide look meaningless and feelingless just to get a couple bucks, in my opinion, that is just so messed up. The people that have gone through the true pain of cancer and have cried every single night because they didn't know if they would wake up to see their loved ones' faces. Sadly, she did die. But her soul still remains, and that's just one of the many reasons why we pray every night, to make sure God's listening and everything will be alright. The worst part is, when they got even, he didn't know what he said or what he did, but it's far too late now because his memorial spot is right outside my house and I have to look at it every day. It's sad, but it brought me to this point to say, look at me. What do you see? A person that wants to be all they can? A person that has a voice but is afraid to speak? A person that has a heart and a soul but is scared. If they get close, they'll have to let go? A person that's working 18-hour days but in the long run doesn't know that they're not getting paid? A person like me. A person like you, a person that will keep on trying and will hopefully break through. We all have feelings, and if we don't show it, we have to still know it, because I believe in you as much as you believe in me, and if we work together, we can break those cycles and emotional journeys. My message is for everyone listening. Never give up, because one day, I believe you'll be on top listening. Thank you. Okay, this is a new one. It's called Crutches Clutches. Basically, there's this girl at my school who just broke her leg, and she had all these great offers from universities for a basketball scholarship, and now she can't really play because her leg's broken. So it's about that. She was 6'3". With so much positivity, she had plans on playing pro basketball. One day, one fall ruined it all. She fell, and as her leg twisted in a 360 position, her dream's tendons broke. A trip to the doctor was nothing more than a smile and joke to even light up a doctor's day. She joked, "I've always wanted to be an actress, at least now I'll be part of the cast." After the doctor's x-ray, she hears the doctor say, asking me on the 4 months of basketball play she'd been practicing. If basketball was a church, she'd be baptizing. 1 week in, the crutches clutches break. And as she falls, so does the positivity in her eyes. You see, she was the epitome of free, and just like chains, crutches demand every right to imprison her physical nature, which was once as tall as a tree, waiting to fly where oxygen may roam. Her mother asks her, "Do you know what the meaning of sore is?" She replies humbly, "I feel it every day." Her mother responds, "I know you do, because people can tell you you can't walk, but they can never tell you you can't soar through the sky to outer space. Did you hear me?" Okay, let's bring it back. I said, "You may be sore, but just like your legs are original, out of place. And with God's grace, I know basketball will be in your future. I'm no sidekick, but I sidekick anybody who thinks otherwise. Little girls wear like hidden pride, like a gift under the Christmas tree that a child can't bear taking another second not to peek at. That's you." The 4 months are up. Surgery is on the way. The surgery doesn't go as planned, but then again, nothing in life does. But she still smiles, because a limp means she is still able to walk. And she falls again. But this time it's head over heels, figuratively, for a guy who was kind of broke, but that was okay because she was too. And so the story ends with them getting married and having a crush, or should I say crutch, on each other. My point is, happiness can be found where darkness may lurk. Thank you.
So how's everyone doing tonight?
Woo!
Yeah. I like energy, so can we just try something? I need to get pumped up before I perform. So on the count of 3, can everybody just say hype it up for me? So when I say 1, 2, 3, everybody will say hype it up, right? Alright, so 1, 2, 3.
Hype it up!
There you go. I'm excited. Alright. Okay, so the first poem that I'm going to do is called What's Become of Us. You hear me? This world is so unjust. The mighty dollar fuels our lust and does with what's become of us. In God we trust, but this greed seems to numb us with its venom. People are poor, but we got Victoria's Secret bras with diamonds in them. The flaws are endless. Heaven and hell crowded with victims. Poverty and famine supported by the system give men power. And he thinks he's fucking king, pardon my French. Added with intentions and terrorism comes to scene. Fight fire with fire in the end, we all get burned. We fought war after war. It seems we kill with a surge, but still no lessons ever learned. This makes me mad. But see, this rage I hold is not for my country, Congo alone, but for the whole entire globe. See, now I know that no place is perfection, but prevention of imperfection never catches attention. We got abortion destroying the womb for lack of protection. We got bloods and crips, drugs and heat flooding our streets from overseas connections. This world is dying. Middle Eastern bullets flying, mothers crying, poverty rising, nations dividing, and I'm realizing that we need to stop fantasizing because there will be no better days unless we decide to change our ways. We've got politicians taking God's children for a ride, boarding a plane of empty promises like a bride going to a honeymoon that never really existed. And those fighting for real changes are the ones getting evicted. What's become of us? This world inhabits humans and animals, but it's so hard to distinguish the difference, both living like cannibals. It means to speak to this man who we call Jesus, Son of God, and ask him why he's let half of us think he's a fraud. Hold it up. Alright, okay, so I'm going to take it easy for the second poem, and I'm going to do much less angry. I hate Tim Hortons. See, I can't walk into Tim Hortons and order my favorite drink anymore because every time I approach the register, I picture her standing next to me ordering the same thing. I hear her voice, her sweet angelic voice requesting a French vanilla cappuccino. See, that used to be my favorite, but these days just the very fucking smell of it makes me sick to my stomach because that used to be our getaway. After a long day of classes taught by professors who made us question our self-esteem, that 14-ounce cup of caffeine was like a perfect noonday cruise. See, it never really made any sense how my serenity would come inside such a small room that drew too big of a crowd, sitting at a table that was too small, listening to music that was too loud. And on any other occasion, if it was just me without her, I preferred hitting the drive-thru, but when she was there, my world hung on the axis of our conversations. And as we swapped stories, my heart would pound to a beat that would in sync with the rhythm of her sentences. And as her thoughts would unfold, I'd find myself sitting at the edge of my seat as if the house light just went down. And the curtains to a world stage just opened in that moment. It doesn't matter what we talk about. In fact, she had the knack of telling me the same stories over and over and over. But instead of me stopping again on the track, I would pretend as if I'd never heard it before because just listening to her talk. And just listening to her talk was better than opening up that first present on Christmas morning. See, it was better than handing in that last assignment that stood in the way of me in summer vacation. It was better than clocking out after the 12-hour shift at the factory. See, listening to her talk about what she was passionate about was the equivalent of French kissing God. See, it was like being at a performance, and she was a world-class ballerina, just tiptoeing on every emotion of my heart. I was a guest of honor, and she slung a gappy pass around my neck and gave me the best seat in the house. And as the words tap dance off her tongue, I catch them out of mid-air, stir them into my cup, and slowly sip on her hopes and dreams. When she would smile, the whole room would slow down, everything around would disappear, and when she laughed, broken pieces of my heart that day and this road would magically find her way back. See, her being present in my presence was simply the best present I could ever receive these days. Without her, the days are dark and gloomy and long, and so on most nights before I go to sleep, I plug my alarm clock or remove the batteries from every clock in the house just in hopes that if she came in my dreams tonight, nothing would wake me. See, it isn't the fact that she's gone that kills me because I can live with that in a man, but see, the thing that keeps me up most nights is the fact that I never got the chance to tell her how much I love when we just sit and talk over a cup of coffee. And this final one I'm going to have to read it, and it's called 100 Trillion Songs. You will have bad days. You'll have worse days. When nothing's going your way, you feel like God is against you, and you cannot bring yourself to stand. You cannot get your tears to dry. You look into the mirror, and you hate your own reflection because all you see is everything you've thrown at you. You wish that your teeth were a little bit straighter, your thighs were a little bit thinner, and your strength to carry on a little bit stronger. Be a day your face will refuse to smile and your heart will act as though it's never known laughter. There will come a day you'll feel ashamed to hold your own name, but I want you to know that even on those worst days, you are worth it. You are more than enough. More than grace sun with grace of blades. You are more than scars. You are more than the heart that beats heartbreak. You are more than depression. You are more than failed dreams. You are more than broken wings. You are more than a label. One day they will come screaming back at your face. Try to make you feel small, to feature in the palms and break your soul, but don't wait for the man with the ass on his chest to come and save you. You can wear the king by yourself. You have more in you than the entire galaxy. You are a universe. You are infinite possibilities. And on the days when you feel like you're sinking and the size of your belief in yourself is overshadowed by the size of your doubt and your shadow is lost in the dark and you're standing alone, here, stand on this. Remember that the sun will come out and you will rise. Because you are covered with dreams stitched together with strength and resilience. You are 100 trillion victories. And though the voices in your head may tell you otherwise, you are no failure. You are no mistake. You're not just a mere bottom on the ground, people begging. You're not an addiction. You are not an illness. You're not a defect. You're not a defect. You are a heartbeat. You are the music that makes the heart sing. You are sunrise. You are a blasting moon star. You are a sky that cannot be buried. You are whatever the moon has always meant to the night. You are a love story perfect, scripted by the hands that hold this world together. You are beauty. You are 100 trillion cells holding together. Created in this image. You are a human being, and just you being is miracle enough to make angels sing. But why is it that you keep walking through this life as though you're anything less?
Dear friends, fellow poets, my name is deLeon. It gives me great honor and pleasure to be here to celebrate 100,000 Poets for Change. The word of love expressed through poetry and busy deeds. Take, for instance, the true meaning of poetry in motion. Its impact on society is influential, powerful, immeasurable. To be able to lay the groundwork and foundation to work and establish towards world peace. This is my dearest wish and highest aspiration. This is what I attempt to create through my poetry, both the written and the spoken word alike. The poems I've chosen tonight reflect darkness and light, peace and harmony, visions of the spirit world, divinations of the world of reality. They are songs of the spirit, incantations of the heart, and invocations of the soul. For the past 6 years, I've been a member of TOPS, that is the Ontario Poetry Society, and I belong to the Gaddis movement of poets, artists, and musicians. Woo! I've since become a poet in my own right, and my poetry is a testament to my belief in angels. Their presence far exceeds other worlds at a distance. These angels are among us, within our hearts, and they are the kindnesses, miracles performed, and dreams that we behold for the future. My first poem, I Am My Father's Soul, is reminiscent of T.S. Eliot's Ash Wednesday. An American poet who resided in England, T.S. Eliot could veritably be the father of Gaddism. This poet is Gaddis by nature, for love of God and the Father. I am my father's soul. I am my father's soul, once a fisherman of the deep, tranquil oceans and the seas, erupting violent storms. Teach us of waves crashing. Teach us to be still among the craggy hills and the rocks. Teach us to listen to the siren of the sea. Let us watch the water glisten pure and pristine among the wavering shores of time. Let us divine spirit spirits from sweet waters. Let us not drown our souls in sadness and despair. Let us pray for truth. Let us have faith in our prayers. Sleep is precious. My next poem is entitled, Keep Pure, Sleep with the Angels. Now I lay me down to die. I pray that sleep will come soon. With weary bones I shut mine eyes. Yet on this precipice, this holy ark, angels arrive at my tomb unharmed. I arise to meet my Maker and to behold of the dream, for I am the dreamer, the one to walk among the living now deceased. The ancient being calleth me to sleep. I adhere to the calling, for this is my one divine night, by divine right, my heart in exaltation, to be among the stars and the visionaries within, into the arms of the universe. My next set of poems are like fairy tales which take on a life of their own. Here is an interpretation of my two favorite poems I wrote based on Shakespeare and mythology. My Lady of the Lake portrays Shakespeare's heroine Ophelia as a mermaid of the still waters. Lady of the Lake. Sweet Ophelia, why must thou go, fair maid, when all that remains are fragments of the deluded dream? Be at peace with thy keepsake. Sleep as a mermaid among the lilies and the leaves, away from the deathly pale, full heart of stone. The art of one mind, the purpose of one soul exists within the chambers of your heart. Reciting poetry and song, seeking shelter, belong to the trees in thy secret world. Much to her demise, her ill-fated zeal, which brings us to Ophelia's death. Sweet girl, suck the scent one loves to be. Far be it from me to call you away from thy attrition, an act of love, life's chosen course, to make amend of things gone horribly wrong. Sleep in peace, be at rest, God rest thy soul in true comfort and manifold bounties and blessings. Lo and behold, be blessed. May heaven's dressings find thee in perfect clandestine, mon age, mon queen, betrothed to remain unseen, to be at one with the jaded sun, the one whom they call divine name fair, the fateful slayer, the remover of all sin. What is done, nay, may all things be laid to rest. Sweet Ophelia, the chosen one who is now deceased, be at rest, sleep in peace. My next two poems are based on another tragic myth of Narcissus. Narcissus is the tragic muse who falls in love with his own reflection. How much are these wishes? What are they worth in tears? Do they reach you from here to the bottom, the lake? Do they resonate like songs murmured, word for word, across the bay to the evergreens in the misty morning? Visions of sylphs and fays run wild and stray and return to the place that was luminous and deep. Keep your promise, fallen angel. I will call unto you to the world of dreams, beyond the depths of your subconscious state. I will find you in perfect form. The mirror reflection will draw you in and return you unto me. Echo gives voice to the myth that is Narcissus. Hers is the voice that is echoed throughout the poem. Perchance one wish may find you at the innermost part, at your innermost peace, at the bottom
given a second sense, a renewed purpose in life, like water distilled in a glass, divining spirits from the lake, uncoiling, recoiling, free-falling, free of fear. I am your reflection, the innermost spirit of the years, set adrift on eternal spheres. Of nurturing and motherhood you had no place, sucked into the deep vortex between time and space, a perpetual disillusion, forevermore and forever after, the displacement of all time, the sign of the contract, a way to counteract and avoid another vicious attack. Perchance you will find me all dressed in black, for I am your reflection. If you enjoyed these poems as much as I enjoyed writing them, they are available through my book, Return Me My Bride, for the cost of $19.95. Thank you very much for listening.
Wow, what an incredible day, evening, afternoon, 100,000 poets, musicians, and artists for Change Day. I am so inspired by all of you. You all brought so much here. And I like the diversity of everything that everyone had to share. I'm sure we all feel the same. And I love when young people come out and bring and breathe life into the literary arts, because it's so key. And we're really, really glad that all of you are here. And thank you very much for spending so much time. It was a long day. I mean, some of us have been here since 2 o'clock. And it's a long process to put one of these events together, and I know that a lot of us have had to sit and wait, but yet we all appreciated everything. So thank you for keeping the circle nice and big and wide and beautiful and full of good words and inspiration. Thank you. Thank you. It's totally worth it. Totally worth it. Sleepless nights and lost batteries and carrying things. So just a couple of little things before we close up for the night. Again, I just wanted to reiterate my thanks to all of you. I know that some of you have books and publications that you might want to share among each other. Feel free to post any of that information on the group page for Loose Sleep or on the 100,000 Poets page. Let us know about your events. Let us know what you're doing. Let's keep in touch. Let's try and stay connected on the grid. I know we're all in various areas of the city and even as far out as Hamilton, which some of you have come that far. So I would really like to stay connected and keep this going. I know that next year will be just as successful and wonderful, and we hope to be doing it here again next year also. The only other things I wanted to tell you about, and I know I kind of went on about it, our sign there is falling down. I wanted people to sign it and draw a little piece of graffiti for this year, and I don't know, maybe we can wallpaper the wall each year, 2013, 2014. And then, I need to read that board. Maybe somebody can bring it up to me. What else can I tell you while I'm waiting? Loose Leaf Poets. This is who we are, and this is where we have our events once a month here on the third Monday of each month. Keep your eyes peeled for what goes on here. We have musicians come and perform their acoustics and poetry intertwined. We have lots of features that also come out and show us their wonderful performances and inspire us. On the 21st of October, here in this room, Max Layton will be here performing his acoustic, and we'll be having some poetry here also. We have t-shirts on that back table over there for $15. Everything goes back into what we put into the event. There is no pass the hat, there is no money-making entity going on here, just to cover off what we've had to do here today. So if that interests you and you want a shirt like mine, which is actually quite nice, and they're silk screen, hand done. So we had a really great person do that for us, and the shirts were designed by Mr. Kent over there, who is also in charge of the sound, and we really thank him very much for giving us this. Couldn't have an effective event without it. Thank you to Paul Salmon for live streaming today's event. We were all live streamed globally around the world to I don't even know how many countries. So pay attention to the website again, because there'll be some YouTube videos, there'll be some access to your own personal performance. You'll be able to access and download it and do what you want with it. So Paul will be the detail man in reference to that. Yeah. And for the artists that brought their photography, which you might have missed, we had John Albury brought his photography. We had a couple of artists here earlier today. Please have a look at what they have to offer, because it's quite incredible and definitely something worth having a look at. So I think that's about it. I'm just going to read the collaborative poem that we wrote here. So the title of the poem is Be the Change, Be the Change. And I'll just start reading. Let me just look at it, sorry. Silo, noun, majestic, pray, ray gun, private, peace, beauty, envision, music, love, golden, harmony, sensual, illuminating, together, cadence, contextualized, chaos, oh my goodness, who wrote that word? Please say that word. Depoliticized? Thank you. I needed help. It's been a long day. Depoliticized politics. So that was our poem, Be the Change. We wrote that together, and we did this all together today. And thank you very much. And that's the end.
And we're done.